Today we have Megan Easton, the Manager of Annuity Training and Education at Athene Annuity. She'll be presenting the Athene Benefit 10 annuity, covering the benefits and features of that product, and we are thrilled to have her with us. As usual, we are recording today's presentation, and we'll hope to post it to our website later this afternoon. We do not open the phone lines up for questions because of the chaos that creates, so please note your question dialog box. If you'll just type in a question and submit it to us, we'll feed it to Megan as the presentation goes along. And no, a lot of times your question is answered a slide or two later in these presentations, so we may not get back or address it if we feel like it was covered, but ask your questions that way for us if you would. You can also call your Great Plains Annuity Marketing Specialist if you've got any questions regarding this product line, Athene, or getting contracted. So, feel free to follow up after the meeting. Our number is 1-800-710-1115. Again, thanks, Megan, for joining us today. What should we know about the Benefit 10?
Hey, thank you, and good morning, everybody. Benefit 10, this is a great product, and it's been out there for, I would say it's about a year and a half now. And it's still fun to present after a year and a half because there's so many twists and turns and layers to it. There's a lot of great sales applications, so much so that what we have been doing more recently, I would say in the past 6 months, is really focusing in on specific sales concepts with Benefit 10. And that's what we're going to do today. I'll give you an overview of the product so you have a good feel of what the product is and how it works, but we're going to hone in on a very popular sales idea. It's RMDs. We'll talk about why Benefit 10 and RMDs go so well together. And I will say this is the lead story. This is the story that agents are going after clients with today. So I want to make sure that you guys are on top of it and aware of it. So if you have questions, just like you heard, please go ahead, send them to the chat box. We'll make sure to address them for you. Let's go ahead and get started to keep everybody to time. So clients have concerns about retirement. And when we talk about clients and retirement, it's a huge number. We're now at 14% of the U.S. population is at retirement age. It's a huge number. And these clients, these retirees, have similar concerns. It's what if Social Security is reduced? What if I can no longer take care of myself? What if I'm confined to some type of health care facility or hospital? And also, what if I live a long life? What if I have a very long life? Do I have the nest egg or the assets in place to support a long life? On the flip side, what if I don't? Do I have a legacy plan in place for my loved ones? So these are questions that retirees are asking. And unfortunately, up to this point in time, retirees or clients have had to go to different products and contracts to satisfy these different types of needs. There might be a contract for guaranteed income. There might be an enhanced death benefit contract. They might be leaning towards a standalone long-term care or fill the gap type of rider. But there hasn't been one product that addresses all of these concerns and the retirees' what-if scenarios until now with Benefit 10. It's Benefit 10 with the enhanced benefit rider. We call it a comprehensive solution because it addresses all those what-if questions about retirement within one product under one umbrella. We call it the Swiss Army knife for retirement. It is a packaged product. It's the Benefit 10 FIA contract packaged and priced with the enhanced benefit rider. So what this means is the client doesn't get to choose just the Benefit 10 FIA. They can't add the rider after time of application. Packaged and priced as one comprehensive product. Now, when I think of this contract, I think of it from two trains of thought, and I think this will help clarify in your mind. Think of it from two fundamental competitive advantages. The first one are the benefits that this offers. This contract offers 5 benefits within the one rider. It also offers the flexibility to move between those benefits. So we'll first spend our time talking about those 5 benefits. The second competitive advantage is the benefit-based account. We'll talk about what that benefit-based account is, how it's calculated, and why it's the real guaranteed number to our clients and our beneficiaries at the end of the day. Okay? First up is competitive advantage number 1, flexibility among multiple products. This contract offers 5 benefits within the one rider. The client gets lifetime withdrawals, enhanced lifetime withdrawals, confinement benefit, terminal illness benefit, and then finally death benefit. So access to 5 benefits. But really, to me, the true beauty and the power behind this is the flexibility component. Yes, the client gets access to these 5 benefits, but it's also the flexibility to move between these benefits as they need as life happens. Now, the importance of that is we don't believe at retirement that clients, retirees, actually know what they're going to need. They may want guaranteed income. They might have concerns about increasing cost of confinement. They may want to leave money to the kids, but they don't know what retirement has in store for them. So with this product, they have all those benefits that address the what-if concerns of retirement at their fingertips, and also the flexibility to move between those benefits as they need and as they qualify. Now, a few things that I want to touch on this slide before moving on. I think sometimes it's misunderstood in the field that the client does not need to go around the circle of life, as I call it. They don't have to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. They can start at benefit number 1 by receiving a guaranteed income stream. They can then move to confinement and then death benefit. Or they can start benefit number 2, move to terminal illness benefit. It's completely what they need at that point in time and what they qualify for, okay? The other thing that I want to make sure to mention here, we have to make sure that we don't call this an income rider contract. The reason being, a true income rider contract was created and packaged and priced to support benefit number 1 only, right? Well, this was created, packaged, and priced to support 5 benefits. It truly is a benefit rider versus an income rider. So if we take it and quickly spreadsheet this against an income rider contract, we're not comparing apples to apples at all. So just something to keep in mind. We're very careful here internally, and when we talk about this to our marketing partners in the field, it's not an income rider, it's a benefit rider. So what we're going to do now is look at each of these benefits in more detail and then show you how they interact among one another. Benefit number 1 is GLWB, the Guaranteed Income Payout. And this is going to guarantee our clients an income stream for life. And they're going to have options to have they receive that income. They can either receive a single or joint payout. They also have the option of receiving a level or increasing payout. Now, an additional plus to the client is the early income bonus, and I want to make sure to touch on that. Before we get there, though, we need to talk about the lifetime withdrawals and payout percentages. What you're going to notice is we increase payout percentages 50 basis points every 5 years. Our joint payout is exactly 50 basis points less than the single. And you're going to see the client, we talked about having the option of a level or increasing payout structure. The way that increasing structure works is we're going to start the client out at a lower withdrawal percentage, but we're going to increase their benefit payout. In this slide deck, we refer to it as the lifetime withdrawal amount, or LWA. That lifetime withdrawal amount is going to increase by 3% every year. So it's a compound 3% increase if the client opts for that increasing withdrawal structure, okay? So if I get the question, do you have something that helps protect against inflation or helps to offset inflation concerns, I talk about the increasing withdrawal structure. The early income bonus. The early income bonus is here to incentivize clients to start income earlier in the contract versus later. So if they start income prior to the 8th contract anniversary, we're going to credit a bonus on top of that LWA amount. And let me show you an example of that. So in this scenario, we have a $100,000 premium deposit. I have a phantom jumper in here. I bet it shows up probably 2 more times, so bear with me here. We have a $100,000 premium deposit, issue age 66, with a simple roll-up percentage of 8%. That benefit base is going to increase by that 8% every year. So in this example, let's say our client wants to start income in the 4th contract year. Well, just to make it simple, we're going to do a level payout percentage. At this age, it's 5%. So the client's going to get $6,600 guaranteed for the life of the contract. Now, they started income prior to the 8th contract anniversary. In year 4, we can jump back a slide. It's 10%. So let's go forward one more. We have $6,600 increased by 10%. So the new guaranteed amount is $7,260. And that $7,260 is guaranteed for the life of the client. Okay. Benefit number 2 is the EGLWB. This is going to guarantee our client, it's an income stream as long as they qualify. We're going to take that lifetime withdrawal amount and increase it 50% when our EGLWB criteria are met. The criteria includes the contract must be enforced for at least 5 years. The client needs to be at least 50 years old, and they cannot be able to perform 2 of 6 ADLs on a permanent basis. When that happens, we'll take that LWA and increase it 50% for a single life. We also have the option of joint payout on here, which I think is very client-friendly. If the clients choose joint payout, we'll increase that 25%. I have an example for you. And it's a very similar example to what we just looked at to give you an idea of how those LWAs stack upon themselves. So oh, there's another jumper. So in this scenario, we have a single payout of $6,600. We applied the early income bonus. That got us to $7,260. Now remember that $7,260 is the amount that's guaranteed. If our client meets the 2 of 6 ADL criteria, they've been in a contract for 5 years, at least 50 years old, and cannot perform 2 of 6 ADLs on a permanent basis, we're going to increase that income 50%, and that's what you see here. So the new guaranteed amount is $10,890, and that $10,890 is guaranteed as long as the client qualifies. What that means is we, as Athene Annuity, has the ability once a year to go back to the client to make sure they're still at that 2 of 6 ADL. If for some reason they've gone from 2 of 6 to 1 of 6 to no ADL issues at all, we can take that $10,890 back down to $7,260. Okay? That's how the contract works. To put some reality around that, think about what is the likelihood of going from 2 of 6 ADLs on a permanent basis to 1 of 6 or no ADL issues. Probably not very likely. So we've talked about how the contract works, and we put a little bit of reality around that. Now, I am going to pause on this benefit. I talked about a lot of great sales applications with this contract, a lot of flexibility. Today, we're really focusing on the RMD story, but I want to make sure to share the features around benefit 2 with you, because a lot of agents lead with benefit number 2. Reason being, that $10,890 pays as long as the client qualifies, even if the accumulation value goes to 0. So if the accumulation value goes to 0, the client's still at 2 of 6 ADLs, we pay the $10,890. Bullet point number 2 here is that $10,890 is based on the 2 of 6 ADL criteria. We don't care where the client is when they meet that 2 of 6 ADL criteria. They could be at home, a hospital, or a long-term care facility. We don't care. So confinement is not required. Bullet point number 3, this is the big one. This is an annuity. Underwriting is not required. We look at these actuarially from the law of large numbers. It's a pooling effect. So we don't have individual underwriting. The importance of power of that, we all have clients who come through the door and have concerns about long-term care and confinement, the increasing costs, skyrocketing costs of long-term care. But individuals have health history. A lot of times it's basic health history, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, that prohibit them from getting a true long-term care standalone contract, to fill the gap annuity, a combo rider, something along those lines. So here's a need that they have that we have a hard time filling the void because of health history. Well, here's a place where agents can go help alleviate some of those fears and offset those expenses of confinement down the road. So to summarize that, there's 3 bullet points why benefit number 2 is so competitive. Number 1, we pay the increased amount even if the accumulation value goes to 0. Number 2, confinement is not required. Number 3, underwriting is not taken into account. Pre-existing conditions are not taken into account. Because of those 3 reasons, benefit number 2 is a huge driver. We have a lot of agents who actually look through their book of business, look at clients who are in the age range, they have that health history and concern, and they lead with benefit number 2. Okay? Just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. Let's move on to benefit number 3, the confinement benefit. So when our confinement criteria is met, we're going to take that benefit base at that point in time and pay it out over a 5-year period. It's a very simple calculation. It's the benefit base at that point in time multiplied by 20% to get our annual figure. The client can choose the mode that they receive it in, but it's paid out over 5 years. What we're looking for from a qualification standpoint is the contract has to be enforced for 1 year. The client cannot have been confined at issue. And here we are looking for true confinement. We want 180 consecutive days of confinement in a healthcare facility or hospital. And I always refer agents back to the disclosure if they're questioning what we define as confinement. It's a good 1.5 pages, black and white. Here's the definition of confinement. Okay. Benefit number 4 is terminal illness. It's the same calculation as confinement. When our clients are diagnosed as terminally ill, we're going to pay that benefit base out over a 5-year period. We define terminally ill as less than 1 year to live. The client has to be in the contract for at least 1 year, and they cannot have been diagnosed as terminally ill at issue. Kansas is our only outlier. Kansas defines terminally ill as less than 2 years to live. Now, let me just touch on this because the wording is a little bit odd. It goes back to pricing. But you'll notice, so the terminally ill calculation, we pay it out over a 5-year period. Well, normally terminally ill means less than 1 year to live, correct? So at death of our client, anything that's left in that benefit-based account will be paid out to beneficiaries. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but I did want to bring it up because that's sometimes that the way that's written in the contract is a little quirky. So I want to make sure that you're aware. Benefit number 5 is death benefit. So at death of our clients, beneficiaries are going to have options in how they receive their funds. They can either receive the benefit base paid out over a 5-year period, or they can choose lump sum. If they opt for lump sum, they're going to automatically get greater of the benefit base at that point in time, or, I'm sorry, 70% of the benefit base at that point in time, or the accumulation value, whichever one is greater. We have an example for you. In this scenario, our client passes away in year 4. Well, option number 1 is the benefit base paid out over 5 years. So that would be $24,800 a year for 5 years. Option 2 is 70% of the benefit base or the accumulation value, whichever one is higher. The accumulation value in this scenario is greater at $102,810. Now, for those of you who are our number crunchers, the very analytical folks, the point in time where 70% of the benefit-based account surpasses the accumulation value tends to be right after the 5th contract year. What I really like about the way our system handles the death benefit payout is we can allow for multiple beneficiaries and multiple payouts. So if you have 3 different beneficiaries on a contract, that benefit base is split appropriately between the 3 beneficiaries, and each beneficiary can choose how their portion is paid out. To summarize competitive advantage number 1, remember the 2 words, access and flexibility. Access to the 5 benefits, the flexibility to move between the benefits as the client needs as life happens. And the power behind that is the client doesn't have to choose what they're going to have to need in retirement at point of application. They have access to all these at their fingertips, and the flexibility to move between them. The way that I like to think about it, and I think it might help clarify, is every time the client moves from benefit to benefit, there's a recalculation that takes place based on that benefit. They have the ability to move between those benefits as their life changes, as they need, as long as there's a benefit-based account value there to recalculate on. Now that is going to bring us to competitive advantage number 2. It's the benefit-based account. All of these 5 great benefits that we just got done talking about are calculated and driven off of one account. It's the benefit-based account. It makes it a nice, clean, simple story because you're not having to talk about an income account and an enhanced death benefits account. Everything's based on the benefit base. And that benefit-based account is going to increase every year via a simple roll-up rate. Years 1 through 10 is 8%. Years 11 plus is 5%. And that roll-up rate is not going to cease until the earlier of age 85 or when withdrawals begin. Now, this is very important. This is a product differentiator. You can get in this contract as early as age 30. So that means there's a possible 55-year roll-up term associated with this contract. That is unheard of in the industry, possible 55-year roll. No cap on that benefit-based account, no maximum roll-up term associated with that benefit-based account. Now let's talk about, this is setting the stage for the RMD story. Let's talk about what happens to the benefit-based account, or income rider contracts are written with this language too, so you can think of it income-based accounts as well. What happens to those accounts in the withdrawal phase or the benefit payout phase? That benefit-based account can decrease in one of 2 manners based on how the contract is written. It can either decrease on a pro rata basis or a dollar-for-dollar basis. If it decreases on a pro rata basis, it means that there's a proportionate reduction to the benefit base. We're going to decrease that benefit base by the same proportion reduction to the accumulation value. If it is a dollar-for-dollar contract, it is a much simpler story. We're going to decrease the benefit-based account by the same dollar amount as the LWA, or the lifetime withdrawal. So I'm going to go through examples and number crunch this for you so you can see the power behind this. Keep in mind as we go through this, benefit 10 decreases dollar for dollar in the benefit payout phase. Here's an example. Accumulation value is 130, a benefit base of 180, and an LWA of 9,000. If the contract's written dollar for dollar like benefit 10, it's a super simple story. You're going to take the benefit base minus the LWA. So 171,000 after year 1, the benefit base account. If it's a pro rata contract, there's a few additional steps. We first have to determine what proportion or what percent of that LWA is associated with the accumulation value. Well, in this scenario, that 9,000 is 6.9% of the accumulation value. Well, we then have to decrease the benefit-based account by the same proportion. So we're going to decrease that benefit-based account by 6.9% too. Well, once you apply that 6.9%, all of a sudden that reduction is now $12,463. It's a larger dollar amount. At the end of year 1, the benefit-based account will be left at $167,538. This is after year 1 only. Let's stretch it out a couple years, and here's what happens. So after 15 years, the dollar-for-dollar contract is going strong at $45,000. The pro rata contract is zeroed out. The pro rata contract is zeroed out because it is decreasing by a larger dollar amount. It's decreasing faster. It's getting to zero sooner than dollar for dollar. Here's the importance of that. If you have a death benefit that is driven from that benefit-based type of account, that means the death benefit is decreasing by a larger dollar amount every year. That death benefit is decreasing faster. And that death benefit is going to get to zero sooner than dollar for dollar. Now, contracts have been written with this language for years and years since income rider contracts were released, but it's always been buried in the contract. What we're trying to do is bring it to light and educate on the differences and then show you how this relates to the RMD story and why the contract, the benefit 10 contract, the way it is written is so powerful to clients and their beneficiaries. It's an educational tool for you, and then you can turn around and educate and describe to your client. So this is setting the stage. Let's talk about the opportunity that's out there with RMDs right now. We know that there's a huge opportunity out there. First quarter 2012, there's IRA assets of $5.3 trillion. That's 9% higher than the same time period 1 year earlier. In 2011, we saw northward of $307 billion in rollover contributions. And the next several bullet points talk about how that money is moving between existing advisor, new advisor, and self-directed IRA. Now, you couple that with there's 37 million U.S. households out there that own traditional IRAs that are in a situation they have to take RMDs. Remember, keep in mind, 14% of the U.S. population is at retirement. So here is the advancing. Let's try it again. There we go. So here's the question. It's not an issue, it's a question. Is there a way for clients to satisfy their annual RMD requirement while continuing to see their investment grow and work for them? And the reason why Benefit 10 with the Enhanced Benefit Rider is such a great marriage or combination with RMDs is because in both the growth phase and the withdrawal phase, RMDs decrease the benefit base account dollar for dollar. And that's it. That's really the secret to the sauce with this sales concept. In both the growth phase and the withdrawal phase, RMDs decrease the benefit base account dollar for dollar. And this is a big product differentiator. There's only one other contract out there in the market that does this. There was, up until last year, a third contract. They recently took it off the shelves, retweaked the contract, and introduced it to the market with pro rata language. So they changed it. We have no plans to change this contract. So again, in both the growth phase and the withdrawal phase, RMDs decrease the benefit base account dollar for dollar. So let me show you what that means. We're crunching the numbers here. This is a tool you can find online. When the client gets to be RMD age, what you can expect to happen, the client will take that RMD. We will then credit the net premium roll-up to the benefit base account. So the client will start taking their RMDs and continue to see a roll-up and an increase in the benefit base account. And they're going to do that until it gets to a break-even point with that benefit base account. As soon as it hits that break-even point, you can expect to see a slow decline. And that's what I'm showing you here on this slide. So a $100,000 premium deposit. The client's going to start taking out their RMDs at 71, $3,879 is the first one. So what's going to happen again? That RMD of $3,800 is going to come out. We're then going to credit that 8% net premium to the benefit-based account. So that benefit-based account will continue to grow even as RMDs come out. It's going to continue to grow until it gets to a break-even point. Here it's age 77 at $144,000. Here's where we're going to start to see a slow decline in that benefit-based account. So look at age 100. The client has taken out right at $94,000 in income at age 100. They still have $100,000 there in the benefit-based account. That benefit-based account is there to leave as a death benefit to loved ones or for the client to tap into utilizing the living benefits. Okay? Extremely powerful story, and majority of agents are leading with this sales idea. Okay, let me see if we can get back into that. Tricks of the trade. Okay. So here's a slide, and I like this slide because it shows the flexibility of the benefits and the guarantees associated with the growth and the payout of the benefit-based account. So in this situation, we see our benefit-based account growing by 8%, and it's going to grow at 8% for 10 years. At that point in time, we're going to lock it in at 180. and we're locking it in at 180 because we're going to start taking out our guaranteed income stream of 9,000. So let's say we take out income for 5 years. The client's taking out 54,000 in income, but something changes. Let's say they meet the 206 ADL requirement. Well, then we're going to take that 9,000, increase it to 13,005. Let's say the client becomes terminally ill or confined. Then we're going to increase that payout to 25,200, and that's going to be paid out for 5 years. If the client passes away, the client had 108 in the benefit-based account, they've taken out 54 in income, that still leaves $126,000 on the table in the benefit-based account. If the client or beneficiaries, opt to have that full benefit base paid out over a 5-year period, that full $126,000 is going to be paid out. That's huge. So now what this benefit-based account is doing is guaranteeing a payout. We're guaranteeing the growth in the benefit-based account. We're guaranteeing the payout, the full payout of the benefit-based account. Okay. In addition to that, the client gets access to 5 benefits and the flexibility to move between those benefits as they need as life happens. Okay. And give me 1 second as we're flipping through slides. I'm going to give it 1 more second. It could be that my PowerPoint just shut down. We'll give it 1 second. As we're waiting for that, let me go through with you verbally some of the additional product detail. You can get into this contract as early as age 30. So what that means is there is that 55-year possible roll-up with this contract. And the nice thing, there's several nice things. Here's the 2 powerful things with the early age. Number 1, it gets us out of some suitability grade sticky areas, right? If you have an income rider, a true income rider contract that rolls up for a 10-year period with no re-ups, you get into some gray area with the 9.5 rule. We don't have that here, so it helps with some suitable situations. But also, the younger age opens up the marketplace for our agents. Now what we're doing, we don't have to talk about this contract just to retirees. We can talk to our retiree children and emphasize the 55-year possible roll-up. The rider charge trip, I do want to explain that feature because it is something that no other contract out there has. What that is a calculation that automatically takes place every 5th contract year. We're automatically going to look every 5 years at that 5-year window and evaluate the amount of interest applied to the accumulation value against the rider charges assessed against the contract value, the accumulation value. If we have assessed more charges than interest applied, the difference will be credited to the contract value. So in that situation, your client has had access to the 5 benefits, the flexibility to move between the benefits, all the guarantees associated with the growth and the payout of the benefit-based account. And for that 5-year window, they received it free of charge. Okay. There is a 1.4 charge to this contract, guaranteed for the life of the contract, calculated against the benefit-based account, deducted from the accumulation value. And there is a 6% premium bonus that vests over a 10-year schedule to the accumulation value. Now, in the event of a withdrawal, annuitization, death benefit, activating any of the benefit payouts, it's automatically 100% vested to the accumulation value. Now, we have a lot of marketing around Benefit 10, but what I would highlight right now is our new iPad app and Android app that you can download from our website. It's free. What I like about it is it has a client-approved presentation, which, is sometimes very difficult to get your hands on. But it allows you to sit across the table from a client with an iPad or an Android tool and go through a pre-approved client presentation, go through some questions, create an illustration, and it also has all your marketing collateral right then and there. So it's very slick. And it's important every agent, regardless of what state you're in, must complete the Benefit 10 PST training prior to soliciting business. No wiggle room. We have to send it back. So it's something I want you to be aware of. So before we open it up for questions, feel free to contact our sales desk. Please feel free to contact Great Plains. They have been wonderful partners with us, and they are very familiar with this product, so they would be a great help to you as well. So with that, are there any questions that we could answer?
Megan, you've done such a great job that the question board is blank. So, and again, as Megan just told you, please feel free to call our office at 1-800-710-1115. Your Great Plains Annuity Marketing Specialist can help you with any additional questions you have. And also, as Megan mentioned, the iPad app and some of the other great marketing pieces that Athene puts together to support their great product line. We've also got a tool for contracted Athene producers, which is their Social Security toolkit. And that's been out for about a year now. But with the interest in Social Security, and if you're out there doing income planning of any sort, you'd find a lot of value in those marketing pieces. So be sure and ask your Great Plains Annuity Marketing Specialist about that. And we also want to mention we're going to be putting on a Social Security certification class. We did a webinar a couple of weeks back with Mark Kiner from Premier Social Security Consulting. They're coming to Kansas City and going to be putting on 8 hours of CE here May 5th. And we want to be sure that invite everybody to join us for that CE presentation. Also check with your marketing consultant here. Your Athene production can help you recover some tuition and travel expenses. So you sure want to check that out. Lastly, but just as important, I want to ask you to save the date. Megan's going to be back with us on Wednesday, April 30th, and she'll be covering Athene's Target Horizon annuity series at that point. So, Megan, thank you again. We really appreciate you being with us today. Thanks to everybody for joining us, and have a great day.